Why do you feel stuck? Have you ever really thought about it? Why do your dreams remain in the same place? Why is it so hard to take a step forward? Are you tired of waiting for something in your life to change? Maybe you already know the law. You've read books, gathered a lot of knowledge, but deep down, one question may still be unanswered. Am I truly living this knowledge, or do I just know it? First, you must understand this. Your dreams don't manifest just because you know the law or because someone explained it to you and you listened carefully. Many people hear the truth. They feel excited for a moment and then they do nothing. They wait. They postpone. They delay. I'll do it later. I'll imagine tonight. I'll start tomorrow. I'll practice when I feel better. And because they keep postponing, nothing in their lives changes. This is one of the greatest traps. Mistaking knowing the teaching for actually applying it. But they are not the same. What we're talking about today is exactly this invisible trap called procrastination. If you're ready, let's begin. In the early 1960s, during a Q&A session of a lecture called Power, a listener asked Neville, "If all the power is within us, why is my life still the same? Why don't I see the changes I want?" Neville smiled calmly and said, "Because hearing the truth is easy, applying it is a choice." Then he continued, "When people hear the truth, they feel a spark for a moment. But if that spark is not put into action, it quickly fades." And he added, "Most people postpone. They say, I'll do it tonight, I'll start tomorrow, I'll try when I feel better." But tomorrow never comes, because a person remains loyal to their mental habits. Then Neville turned back to the listener. "You heard the change. You accepted it. Maybe you even felt it for a moment. But then you returned to your old self, your old beliefs, your old thoughts, your old emotions." He emphasized, "Imagination is creative only when you use it. If you don't use it, the power you have remains asleep." He paused briefly, then said the most critical sentence, "Unused power is not power." Then he gave an example. "A seed in your hand will never become a tree unless it is planted. Water only becomes a river when it flows. And imagination only shapes life when it is used consciously." Then he asked one final question. "When you leave this room today, what will you do? Will you live the truth you heard, or will you say tomorrow again?" And he concluded, "Every day you postpone action, you postpone transformation in your life. If you accept a new state in your mind today, life will be forced to reflect it tomorrow. The power is within you, but only when you use it." One of Neville's most emphasized truths is this: your dreams do not manifest because you know the law. Not because you listened to someone, read a book, or said, "Now I understand." Knowledge only brings you to the door. Application is what opens it. If you don't apply what you hear, it has no effect on your life. Many people hear the truth, feel deeply inspired, even experience a moment of awakening. They feel hope, a stirring in their heart, and then they do nothing. They wait. They postpone. "I'll start tomorrow. I'm tired. I'll do it at the right time." Days pass. The mind stays the same. The state of consciousness remains unchanged. And life simply reflects that unchanged state. Neville calls this the greatest illusion. Confusing knowing the teaching with living it. There is a vast difference between knowing the law and dwelling in it. His message is clear. Imagination creates the moment you use it. If you don't use it, nothing changes. So why do people procrastinate? Because the mind wants to stay in the comfort of the old self. Even if it is unhappy, it clings to what is familiar. Stepping into a new identity means dissolving old patterns, and that feels threatening to the mind. So people even postpone imagining. They postpone closing their eyes and feeling the wish fulfilled now. They postpone becoming a new self. Neville speaks very clearly here. As long as you remain loyal to your habits, your destiny will remain loyal to them. So when does life change? His answer is simple. The moment you move within, the moment you take inner action. Your desires don't move you. Your inner movement brings your desires to you. And this movement is not forcing the outside world. It is not begging, waiting, or hoping. It is this. Closing your eyes, feeling your desire as already fulfilled, seeing yourself inside the result, living it as real and claiming it as yours now. The outer world may not understand this, but your consciousness records it. And the more you remain in that state, the faster the outer world aligns. Neville explains it like this. The world does not take what you imagine away from you, it brings it to you as experience. What you imagine does not disappear. It returns as reality. So why do some people not get results? Because they imagine for a few minutes, then spend the rest of the day in their old thoughts. You return to your old self, your old feelings, your old identity, and then ask why nothing changes. Neville says, you touch the new state for a moment, then return to the old self and ask why it hasn't changed. It hasn't because you haven't. Change requires mental consistency. Not force, but conscious choice. So what happens when you stop postponing? You enter a different inner scene. A scene where your desire is already fulfilled. Every time you return to that scene, you leave an imprint in your inner world. Neville calls this the seal of persistence. After a while, the outer world cannot resist. It yields to your inner persistence. Remember his famous words. The outer world is a shadow of your inner conversations. Change the conversation within, and the shadow changes. So the message is clear. Now you know. Now you've heard. Now you understand how the law works. Now it's no longer about knowledge. It's about application. Don't say I'll do it later. Don't say I'll start when I feel better. Don't say I'll do it tonight. Because every step you postpone becomes a postponed experience in your life. Neville's message to you is this. Enter the result now. Listen to the voice of your desire, not the voice of your past. Live it in your imagination now, because the moment of creation is always now. And he adds, if you change within today, life must conform to that change. Final words. You already know what to do. You've heard the truth many times. The law has reminded you again and again. Now only one thing remains. Feel your desire now. Live it now. Enter the end now. And leave procrastination behind forever. Because if you truly do this, if you stop delaying and start applying, what you desire will become visible in your life. Not because you waited, but because you moved. The version of you in your imagination becomes inevitable. The moment you accept it as real. So now apply the law. And watch how your world begins to change.